Well, the sports ground's capacity has been increased by 3,000 for the visit of rich-listed Toulon, who have a professional squad of 48 players and a budget of around 17 million euros, while Connacht have a squad of 28 and a budget that, by comparison, is not much more than a packet of ginger nuts and a bag of sugar lumps. About 2 million euros, in fact, with all of the Connacht players currently restricted to one-year deals. Add the sum of the parts and you would think that Connacht would have more chance of surviving Cape Horn on a punctured lilo than beating Toulon. But a message for all you non-believers: do not be too hasty in dismissing Ireland's determined Western warriors, especially here. Well, the back row is a very significant unit for Connacht. They all have scholarships in skullduggery and plenty of skill too, but if Muldoon and O'Connor in particular are able to function at the breakdown with that on-the-edge style of theirs, then Connacht have a good chance of winning. George Naoupu has been a revelation as a footballing number 8. Amongst the backs, Frank Murphy has played in a Heineken Cup final for Leicester, and Ian Keatley is an international. Lea'aetoa is a key man in midfield. Carr has been on fire out wide, and Gavin Duffy is probably in the form of his life. Well, a fortnight ago, Toulon beat the French champions Perpignan in front of 60,000 at the magnificent Stade Velodrome in Marseille. Tonight, they are at a dog track in Galway. Nothing wrong with dog tracks, and Galway is a wonderful place. But the sports ground ain't the Velodrome, and this is something of a culture shock for the Toulon club. How will Toulon handle this unique environment? Well, Johnny Wilkinson has handled most environments pretty well through his career, and he has his old chum from their Falcons days, Taumoepeau, in midfield. In the back row is the superb Springbok, Joe van Niekerk, a crucial cog in the Toulon pack. And also in that category is the magnificent Juan Martín Fernández Lobé. To the bench, and for Connacht there is Mia Nikora, who dropped the goal to beat Bourgoin in the quarters, and for Toulon the controversial but scarily gifted Sonny Bill Williams. Well, in the previous seasons, Toulon didn't give a monkey's fudge about this tournament. They lost 56-3 at home to Northampton last season, the latest in a run of shocking results. In fact, Toulon shipped 108 points home and away against the Saints. And in 2006, Toulon conceded 140 points in 2 Challenge Cup fixtures against Gloucester. This time around, though, the focus has changed hugely, which is fantastic to see. The French side made it very clear from early on in this season's Amlin Challenge Cup that winning it was on their radar.
Well, so much about playing away from home is about frame of mind, and for someone like Toulon, it's about that, how they approach this. They won't have played on a ground like this before. People like Juan Fernandez Lobe will be critical, and Johnny Wilkinson with all his wealth of experience as well. You see how grateful the Toulon crowd are for his efforts throughout this season. His experience, he's played here before for Newcastle Falcons as well. He'll be aware of the elements and how they play a part today as well, and he'll want to put his pack on the front foot and play the corners.
Well, Connacht just love it when teams that they would perceive as amongst the privileged and pampered turn up here. It's not just the greyhounds that have been heard to whimper in this stadium. In fact, the European champions Leinster had their tails docked in the sports ground only last Wednesday. Munster lost here the season before when they were champions of Europe. Oh, you better believe it, the bigger the names, the more Connacht love it. And I hope Toulon are ready for a night of rib-crushing hits. Connacht really do plan to make this the Wild West tonight, Jan.
I see John Muldoon leading his team out. Committed performance, a hugely committed performance from this team is expected tonight by the crowd. And listen to the roar as they get out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, supporters, Sligo, Legion, Roscommon, Newry and Galway. Please give it up for your team, your province.
Might be only 8,000 people there, but they're making some racket out there tonight. They're trying to create huge atmosphere, put pressure on Toulon. They unsettled Leinster a couple of weeks back here. They're capable of taking some major league scalps on this sports ground. Increased capacity to 8,000 tonight, just to ensure that Connacht embrace the game of rugby union and see the likes of young talent like Carr. Excites people when he gets the ball. Such an exciting attacking talent. They'll want to get the ball in his hands as often as possible, but a lot of that is down to the work with the pack up front, with the likes of George Naoupu, the number 8 as well, and John Muldoon. You can see him as captain there, where they can give that sort of platform.
Well, the sports ground is but a hurley flick from Galway Bay, the most central port on the far side of Ireland. So we're right on the North Atlantic coast, famous for this time of the year for spring windstorms. There isn't one tonight, but one of those is exactly what Connacht plan to whip up against Toulon. Before they kick off, though, a minute's silence for a Toulon legend, André Veron, who played for Toulon in the 70s and who passed away on Tuesday. Well, Galway is known as Ireland's cultural heart, and while Connacht's style this season has been much more cultured and attack-minded than we've seen in the past, Toulon cannot expect even a soupçon of culture, especially that man, when it comes to the physical aspects of this game. Connacht can do claustrophobia very well. Anything with a Côte d'Azur suntan is in for one hell of a bashing.
Well, their victory against Leinster a couple of weeks ago was encapsulated by a very vigorous defence, really forced turnovers time and time again against Leinster, and that's what they want to do. I think they're playing against the elements as well in the first half. That first half performance will be very, very important if they get any chance in this game tonight.
Also playing into the setting sun, which may be a problem underneath the high ball, but perhaps the big question is, will Toulon's undoubted class and depth be the ultimate determining factor? That has to be one of the fascinations here. Wayne Barnes gets us underway. Michael Bradley said about Barnes, we know him well, he speaks our language, and Connacht speaking the right language right from the off and getting a penalty inside the opening seconds. And if they can slot this one, well, you'd never know, it would be the catapult from the blocks.
Well, perfect start. You can see the pod ready to go up in the air. Gavin Duffy beats him to that up there, as you would expect from a full back. Grabs that ball, and you see the hand over the top of Gavin Duffy. There goes Fernandez Lobe, penalised straight away. Perfect opportunity for Connacht to take an early lead in this game.
Juan Martin Fernandez Lobe, who played here for Sale in the semi-finals a few years back, so he knows the sports ground well. But a man who knows it even better is this man, Ian Keatley. And what a beginning this would be for the Connacht and Ireland out half. It's into a stiffish breeze. Has he drawn it in with the distance? He has. And the roar tells the tale.
That's from a kicker who knows this ground, who knows where the wind comes. Really judge that perfection. And an excellent start here from Cronin. Exactly what they would get that crowd behind them and really put pressure on Toulon from the outset.
Johnny Wilkinson then to restart for Toulon. Straight to Fion Carr, a player to watch carefully tonight. He does love to attack from deep, usually with the assistance of Gavin Duffy. This is Luke Rooney, who's supposedly on his way to Worcester next season on a 2-year deal, but Toulon, they want him to stay, and that's Duffy who takes that ball.
Yeah, Such an exciting talent. Rooney made the transition to rugby union seamlessly. Toulon will be very keen to keep his services, no doubt about that. Scored 2 lovely tries against Perpignan a few weeks ago.
Remember here against Leinster, when Connacht beat the European champions, they played into the wind. There was a similar strength of wind in the first half, and they led by 7 points to 0 at the break. Philip Fitzgerald is the hooker for Toulon tonight, the Scottish A international in his final season with Toulon. And what a take by the captain, John Muldoon, and he rampages down the field. The men in green are hot from the start. Here's Ian Keatley, and Wynne goes after it. Underneath it is Carr.
Yeah, probably not the right thing to do, put that ball up in the air, considering confronted by the elements there. You need to keep that ball in hand, hold on to the ball. When you turn over, hold on to it.
Matt Henjak at scrum half, the fiery Matt Henjak, and Johnny Wilkinson bobbling pass for Loughney, and now it's Lovobalavu, who's a great runner, scored 2 tries against Saracens in the pool game at the Felix Mayol, taken on by the splendid Jovan Nikora. And now it's Henjak again down the blind side. Juan Martin Fernandez lobby is hit hard by John Muldoon. Hitting hard is what he does very well. Here's Johnny Wilkinson. That's got to be watched carefully by Nathan. Oh, the bounce might beat the ball. Will it beat Luke Rooney? And it took some clever covering back there in the end by Lea'aetoa.
Intelligent kick there by Johnny Wilkinson. Put the ball behind the Connacht defence, and that ball could have bounced anywhere. Luckily for Connacht, it went into the right hands. That ball went across the line, spotted the gap, put it behind. And just felt as if Toulon were going to score there, but that ball just bounced back nicely in the end for Taumoepeau.
Well, incredibly difficult bouncing ball, wasn't it, for the 2 Polynesians? But Connacht survive.
That there showed when that turnover came from John Muldoon, initially from the line out, but that drive after that turnover, needed to hold on to the ball. Keatley needed to hold on to that ball, kicked it away, and then Toulon launched a counter-attack and nearly scored in the corner.
Ian Keatley, twice capped by Declan Kidney last summer in Canada and the USA. Taken by Esteban Lozada, the Argentine international. Connacht, you can be guaranteed, will work beaverishly at the breakdown. Johnny Wilkinson, and again it's a poor pass from Wilkinson, bobbling around, putting his backs under big pressure. And it's Luke Rooney who is caught behind the gain line. Juan Martin Fernandez lobby again in open play.
Yeah, been very evident already in this game.
Wilkinson, Lovobalavu, Luke Rooney. It's a strong runner as the former Penrith Panther, which he proves right there. Now where's the support? Will he need support? He will need support. He doesn't find it instantly.
Ball's still in, ball is
The ball's still in play though.
Take a step, please, take a step.
Great run by Luke Rooney. You can see why Worcester want him. Here's Johnny Wilkinson. And now it's Kefu. Kefu the handoff. Kefu gets support. In comes Fionn Carr. And again, the defence is desperate from Connacht. They turned the ball over here. Well, the arm is out from Wayne Barnes. And again, they may just escape.
Connacht are right in their luck here. Been very fortunate. Like I said, 2 tries already in this game.
Okay.
Toulon are finding far too many holes in the Connacht defence. They're winning good quality ball, fast ball as well. And when you've got potent attacking weapons such as Lovobalavu and Luke Rooney out there, you've got to starve their possession. And see why Toulon are desperate to hold on to him. He looks up, glides past defenders. It looks as if a try was bound to come. Just good shuffling the defence by Duffy, just kept him on to the end.
Free kick, early engagement, Brett.
Free kick to Connacht. Frank Murphy there just gesturing to throw the ball at Henjak. And Frank Murphy will know that Henjak's the sort of fiery character that can be unsettled.
Sort of fiery, doesn't begin to come close to what Matt Henjak's character is like. He's very, very fiery, no doubt about it.
Well, he was sacked by the Western Force after a bar brawl, and it's Troy Nathan who finds touch.
You've got to trust me on that hold, okay?
4 caps he won though for Australia. So a very talented player, but the fuse is a short one.
Yeah, he might be a little bit versatile, but he is no doubt a talent at 9. And when you've got the likes of Mignoni on the bench as well to bring on, shows the quality of this Toulon squad.
Fitzgerald again, it's Muldoon who wins it. That's brilliant stuff by the skipper.
2, take a step, 2
2 line-out steals in the opening 7 minutes of the game.
Well, you want your captain, don't you, to step up on occasions like this, and Muldoon is doing that right now. That's McCarthy who takes it. Frank Murphy looking for the width throw. Naoupu sees the outside, and the tackle is made.
That was a lovely pass by Frank Murphy as well.
Frank Murphy, Ian Keatley, it's a long way to Carr, but it's a good pass. And Carr will pop up in midfield off his wing when he gets the opportunity, but the penalty is given away.
Yeah, probably ignored 2-3 men outside him there.
Fernandez Lobe to Joe Van Niekerk. Lovobalavu on the switch. Lovobalavu is very quick, pacey and strong, the Fijian. And now it's Toulon who've got all the possession, all the territory, who get the penalty.
Yeah, perhaps John Muldoon has shown his qualities in the tight, but Van Niekerk and Fernandez Lobe have looked exceptional in the loose as well. Such athleticism in the back row. And that's the danger for Connacht. They can't allow that sort of ball for the quality runners that Toulon possess.
Well, John Muldoon, he's called the count, you know, in Connacht because he looks a little bit like Vlad the Impaler.
That's 2 steals he's made at the tail there. Look at this, gets back on his feet, keeps the drive going as well. Drives into Fernandez Lobe, that's the way, and again, right to the tail. I think Toulon might have to reassess their throwing options into the line-out. There's twice now they've been picked off at the back, and that's how you inspire your team as a leader.
Well, he's been Vlad the Pilferer so far, the count. And you don't want the count coming down your channel, Johnny Wilkinson or Johnny O'Connor, who's known as Johnny Concrete. Concrete and the count in the back row. They're quite a combination. Johnny Wilkinson's recovered from a bit of a knock there. And I was at the Toulon captain's run last night at the Galwegians club just up the road. They trained for an hour and a half, but they said that tonight, while they are focusing on the Amlin Challenge Cup, obviously they have a bigger focus perhaps now on the top 14. They don't want any injuries tonight, but they do want to win desperately, because the final would be in Marseille, which is a home from home for them if they get through.
See the wind blowing there as well. It's not a question of distance, it's a question of allowing for that win from Johnny Wilkinson.
Well, when he kicks successfully at Toulon, the PA announcer comes on very loudly and says, Johnny Wilkinson. But you won't get that here, but that was smooth.
And he probably sounds nothing like that either, to be perfectly honest.
Rob, just help me on the 10 metres, mate.
He's virtually a god down at Toulon within a season.
And when you strike the ball as perfectly as that as well.
He's played here before for Newcastle. He lost actually 16-13 3 years ago. And quite a few of these Toulon players in the 22 have actually played in this ground on previous occasions. That man is one of them.
And made a very good start of this game on Martin Fernandez Lobe.
He's a cracking player, as is this fella, the 51 times capped Springbok, wrestling his way forward, Joe Van Niekerk.
How many times have Van Niekerk and Fernandez Lobe got their hands on the ball already in this game with 10 minutes in? Really evident and really effective.
Well, it's a real running back row, isn't it, when you've 2 players like that, world-class forwards like Lobe and Van Niekerk. And now here's Suta.
I heard that handoff from here, actually.
Johnny Wilkinson looking for support on the inside this time. And Toulon keep the pressure on, spending a lot of time in the Connacht half. Suta once more. And Kefu has switched away to the blind side to join Johnny Wilkinson, but all to no avail. And Wilkinson goes down again. He is struggling.
Can't take a quick line out. It's touch a spectator or
You can see
physio.
him shaking his head. He doesn't look comfortable at all. This be worrying
Got men all
for
down
Toulon.
all over the place, gents. What stopped?
Well, big concern for Philippe Saint-André, not just concerning tonight, but of course in 2 weeks' time they have a top 14 semi-final. Oh, and he's in bad shape. He is in bad shape.
And he's not the type of guy who will stay down unless he's hurt. This is be really worrying for Philippe Saint-André.
Is he all right?
Jamie Hagan down as well, but that's just a bit of strapping. Johnny Wilkinson looks like he needs a lot more than that. And well, if Wilkinson does have to go off, it'll be massive disappointment for Toulon, massive disappointment for the big crowd here at the Galway Sports Ground. And you know, as you say, and he really is a warrior. He does not want to go off. He wants to stay on that pitch and work for his team. If he does have to go, Taumoepeau, you would imagine, would slot into the 10 shirt maybe.
Sometimes he's been far too brave for his own good in the past.
Keatley. Here's Rooney from Marienval. French winger with great potential, Marienval.
No, back you go. Good work, fella.
Henjak. Taumoepeau taking over the 10 duties. Carr. Gavin Duffy, 10 times capped by Ireland. Declan Kidney, by the way, he's here tonight to keep a close eye on some of these Connacht players that may make the summer tour to New Zealand and Australia. Duffy in that setting sun, that's a good take. Carr. Remember, it's into the wind in this first half for Connacht.
At the moment they seem to be losing the kicking battle as well. One side has the elements at the back, huge advantage.
Taken by Gavin Duffy. I think he thought he was inside the 22 there. He was looking maybe for the mark, but he was clearly outside. They're inside now. Carr, and this is a chance maybe to attack from deep, which is what Connacht have done more and more of this season.
That's what they need to do. They need playing against the elements, hold on to the ball, go through the phases, stretch defences.
Naoupu, tackled by Juan Martin Fernandez Lobby, and into touch on this near side. Naoupu, the junior All Black, and very clever signing by Michael Bradley. And all the signings in the last season or two with a limited budget have been cute.
72% of the game being played in Connacht's half. That's the pressure being exerted by Toulon.
Fitzgerald, this time he does find his man. It's Lobby. Here's Henjak. Johnny Wilkinson seems to have recovered. Tackled by his opposite number, Ian Keatley. A lot of men in red out of that left-hand side, and it's Lobby again. And many times has he carried the ball effectively so far for Toulon. This is Kefu. They call Kefu the bone crusher at Toulon. He broke Craig Gower's ribs in the match against Bayonne in April. He broke 6 of his ribs with 1 hit. That is what you call a tackle. Here's Henjak, and it's back to Taumoepeau, and he's doing the Johnny Wilkinson job again, but not as effectively as Johnny would normally do.
Nobody has struck some nice drop goals in his time around back to his time when he played at outside half for the Falcons for a while, and really was very effective at that time. Not quite as effective.
Twice capped for England, Taumoepeau. There you are last summer against Argentina at Twickenham and in Suta.
But Toulon will be concerned about getting some points with the elements of their back as well, get some points on the board. Still 3 points all, even with their territorial dominance at the moment. So they want to get that scoreboard ticking over.
Taken by Jocelino Suta. Can they get this maul rumbling? Toulon.
Always bound. It's not, front man's got the ball.
No, it's with Matt Henjak. Wilkinson, here's Taumoepeau. Crashing his way into those green shirts in midfield. Can they open up some gaps here? Can Johnny Wilkinson find a gap himself, maybe?
Back feet, move!
Henjak, Lobe, and he is dumped. Good work by Troy Nathan. But worryingly, it's all Toulon at the moment. And Connacht defend as only Connacht can. It's so much part of their game, is their enthusiasm, their drive and commitment.
Take a step.
Very conscious of the blind side. How often you see French sides attacking down that blind channel. Very conscious, very aware that you get men there.
Suta. Henjak, Taumoepeau, Lovobalavu, you've got to watch this man extremely carefully. Get the microscope on him. And this is Thomas Rees.
No sex, no!
Henjak, there's the big prop forward out there, Taumoepeau. And again, it's Troy Nathan doing the defensive work for Connacht. And this is what happened against Leinster, you know. Connacht really had to absorb a lot of pressure in the first half against the European champions. They did it very successfully indeed, and then struck towards the end of the half. And this game is actually taking a similar pattern. This is Rooney, Rooney, and again it's Lobe. Lovobalavu is Jovan Nikora to his right, but Lovobalavu using those good feet again. Here's Henjak, brought down by Wynne. Now Taumoepeau, good tackle by Swift. They're swarming all over Toulon here, getting up quickly, line speed. Here's Fernandez Lobe. He really wants the ball in his hands tonight, doesn't he?
Yeah, and there's 2-3 men in the tackle, make sure there's no offloads. That's the one thing that worries defences, an ability of attacking side to offload.
Now it's Johnny Wilkinson with a drop at goal. Well, he is 9 in the top 14 this season. He dropped a very spectacular one from the halfway line against Perpignan at the Stade Velodrome, but not that time.
I'm just not quite sure that. So whether went over or not, in bounds, I think he's acting. For another look. Oh, I don't think he is actually. But it's insane. That time, Johnny Wilkinson, no option other than to go for a drop goal. The ball had been slowed down to a crawl. Couldn't get that offloading game going. The right decision, not quite the execution.
This is Lozada. But again, going back to that Leinster game, maybe that was a template for this performance as well tonight. The Leinster players were double-teamed all the time. Penalised there is Carr on the floor.
But this is what you've got to do when you're playing against the elements. You know for the first 40 minutes you're going to get stuck in. 50 tackles already made compared to 11. Such is the hold Toulon have got in terms of onto the ball. The possession is all Toulon. They missed 3 tackles, they can't afford to miss too many. Toulon haven't taken advantage of that possession so far, but a lot of it is down to the stubborn defence of this Connacht team. That's what you've got to do. 40 minutes, you've got to hold out.
Well, Philippe Saint-Andre, he knows all about this Connacht team. He's watched them 5 times in recent weeks since they knew they would be playing them, either on tape or live. So he's certainly done his homework as the former Sale coach. And he was here as the Sale coach for those semi-finals. Of course, the semi-finals then were on aggregate.
He's done an excellent job in gelling this cosmopolitan team together. He would have been expecting to be second in the top 14 this season. Probably Heineken qualification was what they were aiming for. They've surpassed those sort of targets. And now still going for silverware, both in the Amlin and the top 14.
So Wilkinson, he's already slotted one, and he slots another. Johnny Wilkinson, whose salary and image rights come to about half of Connacht's total budget.
Toulon won't mind that wage bill if he keeps starting over the goals like this. Another lovely strike by Johnny Wilkinson.
Well, Troy Nathan is not going to last, is he? And Troy Nathan is off. And I hear, oh yes, it had to be an offside surely against Thomas Rees, and it's in a kickable position, and Connacht haven't been anywhere near the 22 for 20 minutes.
Well, that's clumsy. from Toulon that time. After getting the points on the board, giving another opportunity for Connacht to claw their way back to parity again.
Well, can Connacht crush the garlic out of these French invaders in this first half? All that territory, all that possession, but still very much in touch, and they can get to more than just in touch if this kick is successful.
Good discipline. Just keep that back foot. I've spoken to your three, but he's now actually listening. So good contest.
So far in this game, Connacht haven't even got into Toulon's 22, but there's still only 3 points between the sides.
Important kick for Ian Keatley, drives it low into the wind, successful, and 6 points all, which is almost incredible when you look at that territory and possession and those statistics. But again, Connacht, as they did against Leinster, they're not panicking.
Certainly not, and what they're doing is asking questions of Toulon. Toulon will feel pressurised now to scoring points, and they get anywhere close, and they might start forcing things then. It's exactly what Connacht want them to do.
Just to emphasise again, this is the biggest night in Connacht's rugby history. They've never won a trophy in their 125 years of existence. Of course, they're still a long way from winning a trophy here. Got to get past Toulon, second in the French top 14, level on points with Perpignan. They've recently beaten Toulouse and Biarritz, who of course were in the semi-finals of the Heineken Cup.
This is a momentous occasion for Connacht and rugby in this part of Ireland. Doubt about it. You cannot,
Yours, Green.
should not underestimate the value of a game like this, what it does to generate more and more support, more and more interest in the game of rugby union here.
Get off the line.
Toulon unbeaten, or Connacht rather, unbeaten in 9 of their last 10 home games. Henjak, Johnny Wilkinson, Van Niekerk, Johnny Concrete gets in with a tackle. O'Connor, former Wasps man. Wilkinson, and now it's Kefu, flicks it inside to Juan Martin Fernandez Lob. He's like an extra back out there at the moment. Henjak just pushes Wynne out of the way, and that's Swift with the tackle, who's been nominated by the Irish players as one of the unsung heroes of the season.
Yeah, Michael said good work, kept them out, prevented him from offloading. Really terrific defence that time. So Fernandez Lobe carrying yet again. I think it's the 8th time he's carried already in this game. Such stubborn defence.
Well, yeah, we've had a couple of line breaks from Toulon, but mostly the defence has been almost boa constrictor-like from Connacht. We were talking about that at the start of the game, that they can be a very claustrophobic defensive side when they're in the mood.
So when you keep making those tackles, question whether they can sustain their energy levels after making as many tackles as they have already in this game. When we've got the likes of Fernandez Lobe and Van Niekerk pummeling away time and time again, the likes of Kefu midfield as well, Taumoepeau, it is going to start wearing you down. At the moment, that energy is still there, buoyed on by this crowd at the sports ground.
Sean Cronin, it ends up in the hands of Johnny O'Connor. Now Frank Murphy, and Naoupu was very flat there. Great ball carrier is the Polynesian. Superb signing by Michael Bradley. And now it's Swift. He scored one of the tries of the season against Leinster. He's quick, you know, for a second row forward. Here's Frank Murphy. And Connacht now, their turn to explore that blind side. Ian Keatley and Sean Cronin in possession. They call him the dentist here, that's his nickname. He likes removing the teeth of the opposition. Here's Keatley, looks for space. In behind Rooney. Big Luke Rooney, 6'3" tall. What a launch that is from Rooney, the man with a British passport.
Terrific strike by Rooney, but he saw the wind advantage there. They got at their backs. They just put that ball up in the air and let the wind do the rest. Such an exciting attacking talent. We'll be desperate to get hold of him for next season, being a big crowd favourite.
No more. Fred.
Sean Cronin spent a lot of time on the bench during the Six Nations. He throws it straight to his opposite number, Philip Fitzgerald.
Nine did everything he could.
Henjak, Johnny Wilkinson.
Not held. Not
Well,
held.
he's not held there, and he's at it again, Loughney. Henjak once more, it's down the blind side to Van Niekerk.
Away. Three, take a step.
Henjak, Wilkinson. Here's Kefu. We've seen his handoff work already. This time it was the step off that right foot. Brother Steve, of course, he plays for Wasps. They could meet in the final. That would be interesting. But a long way to go to that stage. And again, Toulon territory. Can they convert it this time? Henjak back to Wilkinson with a drop. And this time it is successful from the drop goal maestro.
Yeah, once again, slow ball. Exactly the right decision there by Johnny Wilkinson. Nothing else to do. The Connacht defence, once again, very stubborn, very resilient. Held them out, slowed the ball down enough. There wasn't any more attacking options there. Sat back in the pocket, made the call,
Everyone else is on their short three, isn't it?
and put that ball over. But again, over the top. Fitzgerald takes that ball on. Drive came there. Again, not too many Connacht defenders been pulled in, but slow ball. Wilkinson back into the pocket, slotted over 3 points.
Up goes Fernandez Love. And that was Taumoepeau. He tries to kick it clear, and this is Cronin, who's a tremendous player on the loose, as he showed during the Churchill Cup in Denver last year, tournament that Ireland won. Cronin played in the final, a big win over England. Murphy, Keatley to Aidan Wynne, Naoupu, and Lovobalavu makes the tackle. Murphy, here's Michael Swift. And he cuts an angle and cuts through Suta. Naoupu, and that's straight into the arms of Johnny Wilkinson.
Yeah, Toulon not putting too many people into the breakdown at all. Plenty of numbers there. In the end, more red jerseys than green jerseys. Naoupu will force to kick that ball away, really. And no real pressure on Toulon. Can't be comfortable where they are at this moment in time. 6 points and 9 down against the elements.
Well, Toulon lost here in this competition in 1999 when Eric Elwood kicked 17 points. Pierre Mignoni was the captain of Toulon. He's on the bench tonight. Eric Elwood, he takes over from Michael Bradley as the head coach next season. Busy scribbling notes for the half-time team talk. In fact, Eric Elwood was playing for Ireland when Johnny Wilkinson made his debut for England away back in 1998. Frank Murphy. Here's John Muldoon once more. This is McCarthy. Big Mike McCarthy. He's played for the Wasps and the Falcons. Second spell at Connacht. Again, Connacht swarm, putting Toulon under as much pressure as they can.
Yeah, good play by Henjak initially to rescue that. Had a good attempt at driving over the Henjak by Connacht. They felt they had a sniff to win that ball. A good recovery by Toulon.
Juan Martin Fernandez Lobby, 33 caps for Argentina. What a great World Cup he had in 2007. One of the men, Saint-Andre, pilfered from Sale.
Good work by Wilkinson, that kick and chase.
He was up fast, wasn't he, Johnny Wilkinson there? But Connacht have managed to retain the possession. Very experienced scrum half they have, of course, in Frank Murphy. Played close to 50 times for Leicester. Scored a try in a Premiership final, did Murphy for the Tigers. Toulon driving in, trying to disrupt, but disrupting illegally. And Connacht get the chance to go here, maybe, through Frank Murphy. And Murphy fires it out for Sean Cronin.
Did well, Sean Cronin, not try and pick that ball up. It was his feet to control.
And excellent work too from John Muldoon in support. Murphy fires it out to Ian Keatley. It's Wynne on the flat ball, but it's not forward. But Connacht beginning to come into this game and showing a bit of dynamism, a bit of energy perhaps, Ryan.
Certainly are. I mean, it's a terrific defensive effort so far in the game. They'll be happy if a game is spent towards the halfway line, keeping Toulon in their own half. It really is a collective defensive display. They're forcing turnovers, their double tackles are going in. You're ferocious at the breakdown. That's people trying to slow down the Toulon ball. They know attacking threats that Toulon have at their disposal. If they can start that ball going back there.
Just went off here.
You see Johnny Wilkinson back in defence, catches that ball, launches it up, and a determination to get there as well. Good solid tackle on Johnny O'Connor as well, chase it up.
Well, they had some letters from the local schools sent into the club here at Connacht. They had a song for Connacht competition for this match, and some of the quotes in those letters were interesting, like "Today you carry my dreams." Another one was, "May the spirit of the sea run with you," but my favourite, "Drive the French into the ground and slap them silly."
Hold please, hold please.
I said, you cannot overestimate the magnitude of this game to Connacht.
Pause, engage. Yeah, I agree. We're going to get you close. We're going to get you closer. Too far. Okay. We're going to get you closer. Yeah.
Scrummage resets is one of the issues that the IRB will be looking at their next conference.
Middle.
They
Crouch.
do sometimes eat up huge amount of time,
Pause, engage.
but not in this game so far. It's been pretty clean, fast flowing, and the man in possession of the ball at the moment has been at the heart of a lot of it. Juan Martin Fernandez Lobby, and off he goes again. Lovobalavu has knocked it forward. But what an influence this Argentinian has on this Toulon team, in fact in any team that he plays for.
10 carries already in the game. Look at the acceleration, ball in two hands initially, gets outside, looks for the inside pass, not quite going to hand. Lovobalavu was there to snap it up. You know what a try scorer he is. Fernandez Lobo has been hugely impressive so far in this game, trying to inspire his team.
In the middle, please. In the middle. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Connacht ball, and it's Muldoon who comes away with it, but this time it's Connacht's turn to knock the ball forward.
Yeah, there's another one there trying to inspire his team as well, John Muldoon. What a great defensive effort in this first half from Connacht. It really is. That's exactly what he would have wanted from his team.
He was a hurler up to the age of 18, was John Muldoon. He was first spotted actually by John Kingston, now the head coach at Harlequins. John Kingston was coaching at Galwegians at the time.
Closer, please, Red. Red, come closer. Thank you.
He's definitely the type of player who's going to give you everything he's got when he puts on that jersey.
In the middle, stand there as well.
He's the Finn McCool of Connacht rugby.
Pause.
For those of you who know your Irish mythology.
Stay close, line.
You've lost me.
He was a giant.
Yes.
Matt Henjak. Oh, he just gets minced there.
By that man, John Muldoon.
Yeah. Well, it always is. He almost doesn't need to identify, just know it's going to be him. Here's Jovan Nikora. There's Johnny O'Connor. That's typical O'Connor as well. Bustling away on the open side. 10 tackles he's made now.
Okay, they're preventing the offloading game that Toulon want to play.
Get out of the way.
Henjak. Wilkinson. Oh, the intercept was on there. And Connacht were almost away.
All this frustration is starting to build up with Toulon. They know they should be further and further ahead. So they're trying to push the passes, force the passes. That time, the rush defence, they were up there very much in Toulon's faces, and that was an opportunity for an interception there. Read that all along. Wilkinson took a couple of steps across the field before launching the pass. Just drew that defence up. And he was there. Taumoepeau. Oh,
Lea'aetoa, almost his moment of glory.
But that scoreline is starting to create a pressure on Toulon.
Touch, pause, engage.
Well, if you decided to take up knitting and you purled one and stitched one for every reset scrummage during a season, by the end of the season, you'd have a very long scarf.
Or a jumper with very long sleeves.
Well, it's a penalty, though. It's an infringement in the front row against Connacht. And with this wind,
Straight on the floor.
Johnny Wilkinson might fancy a dig from here, and the man who's penalised is Jamie Hagan. The breeze may be dropping. It's not particularly good news for Connacht in this second half, if it is.
Yeah, the way Johnny Wilson's kicking this evening. Doesn't always kick from distance, but he feels with the breeze behind his back, he should be able to slot this over from here. He hasn't looked like missing so far.
Wilkinson, well, he picked up the kicking tee very quickly indeed, and he has been in sublime form.
Yeah, and he had probably a further 10 yards at his disposal there as well, comfortably over the crossbar. Lovely strike as well, easy strike, very lazy.
Philippe Saint-Andre, who teams up with Kingsley Jones to coach the Barbarians against Ireland and England. The return of Butch and Sundance. Keatley restarts. Oh, and it's another offside, and it's the same man. It's Cerise who is penalised, and Connacht staying in touch. Well, if they can kick this, that is. But Keatley's looked good so far.
Thomas Cerise blocking the chasing players from getting to Fernandez lobby, but again, criminal. After getting those points on the board, allowing Keatley another opportunity to close the back gap down to 3 points again. Twice has happened now.
Well, Connacht are the only team left in either European competition that have won all of their matches this season.
Well, they've only lost one game here at the sports ground in 10, so they have a terrific record here.
Wasps, Cardiff, Toulouse, Leinster, Munster, Biarritz, they've all lost a game so far in the Heineken Cup or the Amblin Challenge Cup this season, but not these boys, and they are real fighters.
Well, Eric Elwood and Michael Bradley, the coaches of Connacht, will be thrilled with this first half performance, and he's thrilled as well. Well, they should as well. Really, performance full of character, tough defence, really have prevented Toulon from capitalising all our possession they've had.
What a take by Gavin Duffy. That'll impress Declan Kidney. He's bound to be one of the players that Kidney's having a look at. And what a season Duffy is having. And Keatley's another man that Declan Kidney will be maybe spotting. Johnny O'Connor. Frank Murphy. And this is George Naoupu. Can they get Naoupu more into the game? He can be such a good player on the loose. Here's Gavin Duffy to Fionn Carr. And Carr, he kicks the ball away to Rooney, but then he chases Rooney down. This is Henjak all the way back to Wilkinson. Duffy's call for this. Support outside from Aidan Wynne, and Wynne goes straight and hard, and Connacht finishing this half well.
Great enthusiasm, great energy at the end of this half, where they've had to defend for the vast bulk of it as well.
Naoupu, who almost made that intercept, didn't he? And what a game changer that could have been. Here's Murphy. Naoupu. Thought he saw a little hole, and the hole closes quickly, but it's still Connacht ball. Here's McCarthy.
No backwards, no back. Play out, ball came out the side. Ball came out the side.
It's turnover ball, popped out the side there.
No problem, we'll just hit the man. Take it back, looks
Well, that could go, will it? Yes, it will.
I'm hoping that ball is going to bounce beyond the try line, something a mine at it. That girl to try and keep their side going as well. It's been an excellent performance. Michael Bradley will be happy. Doesn't look very happy at the moment, but if I was in his shoes, I would be very, very happy. Whereas Philippe Saint-André will be disappointed, be frustrated at Toulon's inability to capitalise on that possession. They couldn't have asked for better conditions. Could have been far worse here with the weather. You know how the gales come in from the Atlantic. This is lovely conditions. Bit of a wind out there, but generally couldn't have asked for better conditions.
Now can't Connacht get themselves into the dressing room, just 3 points behind, with the win behind in the second half.
Thanks, John. Release it! Take it.
Fitzgerald takes it on. Here comes Muldoon, ravaging and rampaging round the fringes there. Doesn't quite do enough to win the ball. Here's Fernandez Lobe to Suta. Suta one-handed, keeping the ball available. Here's Fernandez Lobe. Johnny Wilkinson. Joe van Niekerk. Here's Henjak. Fernandez Lobe. Lovobalavu. Lots of green shirts there. There's 5 of them in defence. But will that create space elsewhere? Here's Matt Henjak. And Connacht trying to flood away to the left-hand side because they might have numbers here. Is Joe van Niekerk. Connacht, you feel, got to hold out here. Luke Rooney, Johnny Wilkinson. Here's Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald to Lozada. Esteban Lozada. Henjak. Johnny Wilkinson. He's caught by Keatley, and again it's a double team tackle.
Prevents the offload yet again.
Henjak, Juan Martin, Fernandez Lobe. 87 tackles. Make that 88 now in this first half.
Staggering performance.
Gives it to Luke Rooney. Rooney to Kefu. Henjak, at the moment they just cannot penetrate this green wall, can they? Defence has been immense by Connacht.
What's happening at the moment is that Henjak is floating some passes from line as well. It's allowing time defences to come up. So it was going to be far sharper from line.
That was Lobe taking it in.
That wasn't a tackle, I think.
Henjak. It's Taumoepeau. Taumoepeau fires it out to Fitzgerald. Now Henjak, and again they explore that blind side. Marienval. And Connacht get their hands on the ball on the floor. Oh, they've lost the ball again. Here's Henjak, another chance for Toulon. Johnny Wilkinson, Juan Martin, Fernandez Lobe, finds Joe van Niekerk, who does have a lot of pace, takes on Carr on the outside, the quickest man probably in this Connacht team.
Look how well they disrupted that ball yet again.
Well, they did disrupt, but they disrupted illegally, and they've given away the penalty, and Wayne Barnes is going to march them back as well.
Line.
Again, they're disrupting, they're unsettling, and they're frustrating Toulon.
Just a bit of a fight for the ball, not like tackling it.
And Martin Fernandez-Lobby is the player who's down injured at the moment. And look at that, 3 minutes into the red zone, and Toulon very deep in the Connacht red zone at the moment.
Very defensive Philippe Saint-André, no doubt about that. A lot to think about going into the second half. But a terrific attacking position in the final moments of this first half. One last chance to open up a larger gap at half-time.
Well, they are desperate for a try in this first half, aren't they, Toulon? And they have been hammering away at this Connacht defence.
One last defensive effort from Connacht. It has been an outstanding 40 minutes of defensive play by the team in green.
Can they get to the shed? Just 12-9 down. The scrummage is well set. Fernandez-Lobby controls at the base.
Far side, far side.
We'll go again. Connacht must defend again.
Good this side, thank you.
Wayne Barnes says it is time for one more scrum. Scrum must be complete.
Scrum must complete.
John Muldoon wants that whistle for half-time. And he knows how important this scrum might well be.
Crouch! Touch!
The crowd doing their best to help their side into half-time. The exhaustion of perpetual defence, and it's a penalty here against Connacht. And again, it's against Hagan on the tight head side. Now, how much patience will Wayne Barnes have?
There's no doubt the Connacht scrum is under pressure.
5 minutes beyond the 40.
If he doesn't.
Lea'aetoa on the tight head side for Toulon.
Touch!
Robin Goodliff watching very closely on this loose head side for Connacht. And that's a powerful surge, and it's another penalty. And now we're getting into the danger zone.
Captain.
In terms of a penalty try.
Wayne Barnes will not blow the whistle before this scrum is finalised.
This player must stay straight. He must not go on an angle and go on the floor. If he does, it gives me a little option, okay? Last two scrummages, he's gone on an angle and gone on the floor. Watch on, penalty.
Hagan has conceded 3 penalties now, and Taumoepeau, the younger brother of Tavita, the Worcester prop on the loose head side there, is causing him issues.
Stay on the body.
We don't want to start the second half with 14 men either. There's danger here for Connacht.
Crouch! Touch! Pause, engage!
They're getting down on the prayer mats for half-time. Will Connacht, if they can get out of this desperate situation they are in.
Number 1, straight the ground. That's number 1. It's a different number.
Robin Goodliff on this near side, just pointing out to the referee that Brett Wilkinson is the player at fault this time. Can they get out of this gin trap, Connacht?
Different number, that's the problem.
I think both sides know the significance of this scrum.
Well, this game could turn on a piece of turf not much bigger than a large picnic blanket.
Touch! Pause, engage!
Henjak feeds, can they keep it up? Connacht, and this time it's a reset, and 8,000 people here at the sports ground collectively holding their breaths there.
Well, that time Wayne Barnes looked to Robin Goodliff to tell him exactly what happened on this side of the scrum.
Brett Wilkinson was coached in the past by Robbie Kempson, the great Springbok prop. He'll have learned a lot from him, and he'll need that education now. 7.5 minutes.
Who do you want?
Connacht are going to bring on a replacement, and it is a prop forward, and it's an England international, and it's Robbie Morris who comes on for Jamie Hagan.
Is this because the danger of potential yellow card? Well, was Robbie Morris probably get another shot to this, two shots of this as well.
Well, this could be very, very clever management by Michael Bradley and Eric Elwood, and Dan McFarlane, the forwards coach, seeing the potential of what might happen. And Robbie Morris, the former Northampton Saint, has all the experience you might need in a situation like this. And Henjak looking to good lift to penalise Wilkinson again on that loose head side. This is incredible.
Well, that's probably the 8th reset of this scrum. I think I've lost count.
Has there ever been a longer scrummage? Or series of scrums? And you know the decision that Phillips and Andre wants Wayne Barnes to make.
One way or another, this has to come to a conclusion now.
Could be here all night. Henjak. Good drive by Toulon. And Connacht trying to spin them through, and they have done, but it's only a penalty.
90, it's not going forward.
So Andre, he can't believe there hasn't been a penalty try.
Even he can see the funny side of it to a certain extent.
Okay, you've walked sideways.
Probably lucky he's about 40-50 yards away from play, otherwise he'd want to get involved himself. Philip.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
We seem to have been here forever, and it must feel like forever for that Connacht pack.
Start using.
Fernandez lobby, they've got to use it, says the referee. Here's Henjak. Henjak to Kefu, and they do get their try, and eventually Toulon have busted a hole in this Connacht defence, but it all came from that series of scrummages. They could simply not resist the pressure.
That scrum had turned as well, so put the back row of Connacht at a huge disadvantage. Pick up from Fernandez lobby, fed Henjak, terrific angle there from Kefu, terrific angle, he fed off that beautifully. Nothing really at the back row Connacht could do about it, and really opened up the defence in midfield for Toulon to eventually take advantage of all that supremacy, all that possession they had deep into Connacht territory, and it brought an end, thankfully, to all those reset scrums.
Well, amazingly, 10.5 minutes of extra time at the end of that first half. Phillips and Andre, of course, he won the Challenge Cup with Sale. The following season they won the Premiership. He knows the value of this competition, but it's Toulon who have got the reward that they feel they deserve, and they lead at half-time here in Galway by 19 points to 9.
Toulon hold on to this one. The final will be played out in Marseille. If Connacht come through, the final will be at Kingsholm. Either way, the victor will be playing the winner of tomorrow's second semi-final between London Wasps and the Cardiff Blues. 5 to 6 are on air from High Wycombe, and we're on Sky Sports HD1. It is Toulon in the driving seat at the moment, but they have had all the possession, all the territory and the elements in that first half. They've built themselves a 10-point lead though. Can Connacht turn this one around? If they do, we are in for a famous night in the west of Ireland. Let's hand back to the commentators, Jan Evans and Mark Robson.
Thanks very much, Alex. Well, the Connacht fans are still enthused by what potentially lies ahead for them in the second half as Toulon re-enter the arena here at the dog track at the sports ground in Galway. They actually crossed the dog track to get to the pitch there. Well, it was the engaging but eccentric Murad Boudjalal, Toulon's multi-millionaire benefactor, who said on Toulon's season so far, "We have entered the bank, we have put on the balaclava, and we are ready to do a hold-up. If the police stop us, too bad, but otherwise we'll take the loot." Are they going to take the loot tonight, Jan?
Well, they put themselves in great position, no doubt about that. That try right at the end to open up a 10-point gap, which is what at least have had a gap without considering the possession and the territory and the advantage they enjoyed there. Connacht would have been thrilled if they'd closed, if it was only with 7 points less in the gap, 3 points to Teenham. Now, there are more questions in this second half. Can Toulon do the same as Connacht in the first half? Be strong defensively, get across, again, and hold on to the possession.
Well, Toulon were determined to come here tonight and do a smash and grab. Will Connacht be able to find the truncheons in the second half? Maybe it's more than truncheons they need a machete from somewhere as well to get through this Toulon defence. They've got to get some ball as well.
Yeah, they need to get on the board very quickly. Can they get that scoreboard ticking over? Can they pick up penalties, close that gap, really start making Toulon nervous as well?
Michael Bradley, this is his final match at the sports ground. He hands over to Eric Elwood at the end of the season. Connacht have one more game in the league. That's away to Ulster. And what a servant he has been to this province. Under almost impossible conditions sometimes. So that's one Martin Fernandez lobby to Kefu, the try scorer in that first half. He's such a skillful player, lobby. Everything he does. Lea'aetoa. And remember, 96 tackles from Connacht in that first half. Here's Suta again in one hand. Brilliant. Henjak. Johnny Wilkinson looks inside for Kefu, and that's a knock forward. Advantage to Connacht. Robbie Morris, who claimed the ball for them. Frank Murphy downfield to Luke Rooney. He's got that long, languid stride, but he decides the aerial route is the best ploy there. And it's Gavin Duffy again. Such a season. Good game too tonight. Now Carr. Of course, Luke Rooney was upfield. Across there comes Marienval. And this is the position, or sort of positions, that Connacht must find in the second half.
You want the pick up here, just in the middle, comes from Suta. Picked up their terrific ball handling skills from you saw from Lobbe. Started the second half as well in the same way. But what a great take. 2:15s going head to head. That time Duffy beating Rooney the ball. That's what you want from your 15. Going up, showing some convictions, showing some determination to get that ball.
Philip Fitzgerald then. John Muldoon stole a couple of lineouts in the first half. Not this time. This is Jovan Niekerk. Now you've got to bind at the tail of the maul there. You can't hang on like you're leaning out of the side of a bus. But he seemed to be binding. And Henjak, crowd baying for an infringement. Not getting it. Here's Duffy. Duffy loved these runs. He's got great feet as Gavin Duffy. He really can beat defences. And Cerise is maybe going to be penalised here. It's a penalty advantage to Connacht.
Gavin Duffy really has had a strong game so far.
Liam Keatley decides to have a free pot. And it was Cerise. I think that's the third penalty that the Seven has given away for Toulon. Gavin Duffy there, who played in the 2004 final for Harlequins against Montferrand. He scored a try. Declan Kidney here tonight. And of course that tour to New Zealand and Australia. They also play the New Zealand Maori in Rotorua. So he'll be looking at an extended squad. And some of these Connacht players could squeeze their way into that.
You want players to put their hands up for selection. On the likes of Gavin Duffy, John Muldoon certainly have today. There's a lot of character out there, and also there's a lot of quality as well. But Duffy had a strong showing in defence in the first half, and already shown up in attack in the second half.
Well, can Keatley get Connacht to within a converted try? Yes, he can.
Yeah, he had another lovely strike. Picked three beautiful penalties in the first half against the wind. That time, with the element at his back, to stroke that beautifully over the uprights.
Again, Keatley, one of those players who may not have got a lot of game time if he'd stayed with his original province, Leinster. And Connacht seen as a development region, and players like Carr and Gavin Duffy to a lesser extent, Ian Keatley, Sean Cronin, all getting big game time in the Magners League and in the Amlin Challenge Cup. And here's Gavin Duffy. who played against Connacht in the semi-final of 2005 for Harlequins. He cried at the end of the game because his team had beaten his province. Lovobalavu, good hands, brilliant hands by Lovobalavu. Here's Johnny Wilkinson. Duffy, so safe and then so dangerous when he goes. Not afraid to attack, are they, Connacht?
Yeah, it's important when the full back brings the ball back. He beats that first man. He did that, took 2 or 3 defenders with him.
Ian Keatley. Somehow they've got to get the tin opener to this Toulon defence. Frank Murphy, here's Keatley.
Yeah, to get the ball into Toulon territory here. We saw what Connacht can do in defence. The number of tackles they made in the first half, 96 tackles in the first half. Now it's interesting what they're going to do with the ball in the second half. Can they ask questions of this Toulon defence?
Well, we were talking to Eric Elwood before the game, and one of the discussion points was understanding the geography of a match, and Connacht, of course, have this wind in the second half.
Yeah, how you use that element will win you a game. You can help people in the right areas as long as you use it properly. It won't win you the game on its own.
Philip Fitzgerald to the tail, and it's Sean Cronin who gets his hands to the ball, and the referee brings them back. It's not straight, and then it was a knock-on. I was wondering for a second why he wasn't playing the advantage, but there's your reason. But yeah, talking about the geography of the match, Ronan O'Gara, an absolute specialist in that area, isn't he?
We saw what Ronan O'Gara did against Northampton Saints in the quarterfinals, for example.
Yeah, there it is.
He can be metronomic at times, how he uses that ball, puts his forwards in the right areas of the field. Johnny Wilkinson can also do that at times when he's at his best.
Online engage. Crouch!
We certainly haven't seen that from him when he performed with England this year, but for Toulon, he's certainly been able to do it.
I'll let them reform. 9, let's go. 9. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
No, it's going to be a penalty against the Connacht scrummage here. Brett Wilkinson. Well, I think he had a couple of things wrong there, according to Wayne Barnes. So an opportunity gone, opportunity for field position, opportunity perhaps to attack this Toulon defence again.
Very interesting. Listen to Dowie in the studio before the game talking about how Johnny plays for Toulon and how he's played for England. And he's far more comfortable playing for Toulon. He hasn't got to force things.
Fitzgerald, up goes McCarthy. It's a knock-on though, so advantage to Toulon. Here's Wilkinson. Marienval coming off the wing. Now there's an advantage here to Connacht. Well, is Brett Wilkinson going off here? Looks like he is, and he's likely to be replaced by Ronan Loughney, who's Galway born. He's been at Connacht since he was a teenager. Brett Wilkinson departs. The Ireland A international, South African born, replaced by the local boy.
Yeah, the Connacht folks have certainly had to work very, very hard in the scrum, no doubt about that. Really been pressurised by this big Toulon pack.
Get your balance. It's his first system.
Well, Connacht have a great record in this tournament. They really have fallen in love with it over the years. 4 quarter-finals, 2 semi-finals before this. This their 3rd. Good drive on the scrummage. Frank Murphy to Keatley. Good ball to work with for Keatley. And as he worked with it efficiently, needs a good bounce here. Oh, and he nearly got it.
Options.
So close.
Scrum.
I can go all the way back. That hit the corner flag. I can go all the way back from where Keatley kicked that ball. That'll be a lull. That'll be relief for Toulon. What they didn't want was a line out 5 yards from their own line. The line out has creaked today, has been put under pressure. We've seen Muldoon take a couple of the balls. You see Taumoepeau up there, looking down from above. Toulon assistant coach.
Yeah, 74 caps for the All Blacks. Taumoepeau, he's been back playing recently on the wing and in the centre for Toulon. That's his final season with the club before he heads back down under. Loughney, Johnny Wilkinson at pace and flat. Here's Kefu, Marienval outside. We've seen that handoff before. Henjak taken on by Lozada.
And releasing 8-3.
Henjak, Johnny Wilkinson off the left foot for the drop goal, but never on target and very skeweth.
Yeah, never got really good connection with that ball at all. A long kick downfield from Connacht.
Wilkinson was aware to it though. He was watching it all the way and he backtracked to cover. Lovobalavu.
That's what you want from your wing, to bring and give the angle, bring that ball back into play.
Fernandez Loughney, best back on the pitch and the best forward on the pitch as well. Here's Taumoepeau. Cerise has given away 4 penalties in total.
He's definitely had an impact on the game. Not particularly favourable one.
Taumoepeau flicks it outside. Loughney again in possession. He's desperate for work. Workaholic he is. Here's Henjak, the dummy from Henjak to Lovobalavu. This is danger for Connacht now. They've been breached here. The first line. Jovan Nikora takes it on. And that's the Connacht 22.
Hands away, everyone!
Wilkinson looks for his options. And what's your option? Who else would it be? Loughney again.
Oh, you've got a magnet in his hands to keep drawing that ball to him.
Henjak, Taumoepeau, big strong man is May. Muscle packed. Henjak squeezing away at the Connacht defence. Toulon once more, blind side. Lovobalavu. Henjak, blind once more. Johnny Wilkinson looked to release the ball, didn't he there? Trying to keep it alive. But Connacht have done well here. Very well. Frank Murphy. Now Fian Carr is on the chase here. But Luke Rooney was the favourite. Helped by Marienval. And away goes Lozada. Oh, Lozada straight. Are there signs that this Connacht defence may be close to fracturing? They're certainly absorbing a huge amount of pressure.
It looks like they're starting to be holes in the defence.
No, there's one there. It's Fernandez Loughney with a brilliant dummy. It's maybe opening up now. Here's Henjak, Johnny Wilkinson. 29 tackles already in this second half for Connacht.
To add to the 96 in the first half, is this starting to take its toll on this Connacht defence?
Well, it's so exhausting to keep on tackling and tackling and tackling. Taumoepeau. A little pick and go from him. How much is there in that big green tank? Sean Cronin working bullishly in there.
Well, you asked how much is left in the tank. Still enough to repel that attack.
I'm not having a player look up at me and scream at me like that.
Well, apparently number 5 was looking up and screaming. But you can sense the frustration from Toulon. Drive going in, repel back. Look at the numbers there. 2-3 players driving back in the tackle, preventing the offload again. And you saw the faces of the Toulon team frustrated. Look at that. 96 in the first half, already 36 in the second half. Can they sustain this level of defence? That's the question. Every question's been asked of them so far. They've answered and answered well, but it's just having to take a toll in their energy levels.
Well, collective heart the size of a rhino's Connacht so far, and those stats are inclined to back that up. Well, I've no idea how big a rhino's heart is, to be honest, but I'm sure it's sizable. Connacht have been brilliant in that aspect of their game. And somehow they get themselves out of that very deep pit.
Yeah, you see Henjak starting to attack that blind side. In the first half, they were stopped from going. They marshalled that blind side very, very well. Now all of a sudden, Henjak is starting to see some gaps opening up on that blind side, starting to get the big forwards, the wings hitting onto him. Likes of Lovobalavu really driving onto the ball, carrying the ball, and stretching this defence across the field.
That's McCarthy. Good take by him and good delivery to Frank Murphy. Naoupu. Haven't seen him involved too much. And Nikora, he looks to be on at 10. And Naoupu through. Here's Rooney. Look at Connacht at the breakdown there. Well, illegally at the breakdown there. Henjak not released by the Connacht player.
As Michael Swift tackling Henjak without the ball there. Ferocious on the breakdown. Connacht really hurling themselves bodily at anything in a red jersey, with, or this time without the ball. Such their appetite, though. One thing you can't do in this game is question the commitment of this Connacht team.
Well, you know, it's been a brilliant tournament for Connacht. They won all 6 in their pool, which included away wins at Worcester and a comeback victory against a full strength, has to be said, Montpellier. And they scored 28 tries in total in their pool, more than anybody else in all of the Amlin pools. And then to beat Bourgoin here in the quarter-finals with that last gasp drop goal from Nikora. And Connacht deserve huge credit for getting to this stage. And of course, they're only 7 points adrift here. Sebastian Bruno is on, immediately throws the ball to Robbie Morris. Cronin, and now Muldoon uses the boulder shoulder there just to smash a Toulon defender out of the way. Now Nikora. Naoupu. Frank Murphy to Nikora. Different type of out half to Ian Keatley. Sort of player who really challenges that gain line. Here's Carr, who just challenges defenders. Full stop. Scored 2 super tries against Leinster at the RDS in a league game. A match that Connacht probably should have won. Here's McCarthy. Driving through one tackle, just getting beyond the gain line enough. Here's Murphy. Now Nikora. Carr, he's appearing everywhere.
No touching, no hands.
Murphy looks down the blind side.
Away 30!
To Wynne. Murphy. This is Ronan Loughney. So this time using the forwards, trying to develop a platform. Here's Carr. Naoupu. Good tackle by Johnny Wilkinson, who stays down. Always a concern. Here's Murphy. Nikora. So they're down to 14 men at the moment because Wilkinson is wounded. Naoupu can't offload effectively, and Johnny O'Connor is caught now. So from their forward thinking, they're now in reverse Connacht. It looks like they've still got the ball here.
You've had 2-3 goals, take your hands away, you're not the first man. Who's released?
Johnson down yet again, going in for the tackle. Oh, and he just catches one there awkwardly. Stretches his shoulder as well, probably. He should be okay. But always when you stretch your arm out there, as I know only too well, you do expose that shoulder joint.
Inside, Rob? Yeah, inside.
And what really is hurting at the moment with Toulon is their line-outs. They've lost 7 line-outs already in this game, which means Connacht are quite happy to kick the touch and happy to use the territory in the second half.
Stop, just replace it, on you come.
7 line-outs, that is nowhere near good enough for a quality side, and that will be cause for concern. The scrum is going well, the line-out has been a disaster so far for Toulon.
Take a step, just take them all with
I think Sean Cronin throws the line. I just spotted a professional boxer coming onto the pitch. Sonny Bill Williams. One fight, one win. Second round knockout against someone. It looked as if they got him from the car park. But Sonny Bill Williams, the controversial rugby league convert, is on in the centre. Those long limbs of his, great offloader, superb player with quite a history, and he's only 23.
He will certainly create an impact.
Frank Murphy, can he create an impact for Connacht? They're inside that 22 now. Picked up by Swift. Now Morris. Frank Murphy, and now it's Naoupu exploding into the game. Frank Murphy. Swift takes it on. Powerful, quick second row forward. Now Frank Murphy. Is this the chance? Is this the chance? Great defence by Toulon, and players and cameras and cameramen and sound equipment go flying, as does Sean Cronin.
Cowan gets back up as well. That's courage for you, that's bravery for you. Gets back up, picks his camera up, but a good period of sustained pressure by Connacht there, attacking that blind side. Frank Murphy did it really well, picking off possible opportunities on that blind side, really getting us forwards. Anyway, this is the first time that they've been in the 22 all game.
I think the Sky cameraman may need some help from the physio after that collision, and very understandably. They are confirmation that Sonny Bill Williams is on.
This is an hour into the game, plus the injury time we had in the first half, and it's the first time Connacht have been in Toulon 22.
Hold please, step please, take a big step. Go with him.
The important thing right now, though, is for Sebastian Bruno to get his throw in accurate.
Okay, this man's just going off.
Connacht want to put pressure on this line out.
Michael Swift is in trouble there, isn't he? Just being helped off.
He's got a strong showing in this game so far. With his energy, got around the field, carried the ball effectively, put a lot of tackles in as well. I'll be disappointed to lose him.
Retire, please. Watch on.
Bringing on Bernie Upton, who's a real line-out specialist, taken by Olivier Massouk.
Reduced the line out that time. Toulon secured some much-needed possession close to their own line.
Yeah, good drive by Toulon.
Always and more.
Toulon need the experience of Sebastian Bruno there to take charge.
That is once.
Using power to get themselves out of trouble here, aren't they? Henjak, and he finds touch.
Outside robbery. Outside. It's outside the 22, so if you get it, don't think it's...
Well, that's the closest that Connacht have come to a try. Sean Cronin's burst down that blind side. But of course, they just need the one opportunity, don't they? 7 points adrift. It's still very, very much on here for Connacht at the sports ground. Bernie Upton takes that ball, and here's Wynne on the crash. Now Murphy, Sean Cronin. Now he's very, very quick as Sean Cronin, full of dynamism. Murphy, Naoupu crawls and scrambles. He wasn't held. Still there for Connacht. Listen to the crowd now. Frank Murphy checks those options. Naoupu and O'Connor. What a spell this is for Connacht. Their best spell of the game. Murphy burrows. Now Duffy goes in to help. Just meters short of that line now, Connacht. Just think of the pressure they've absorbed. They haven't created very much themselves, but can they convert here? John Muldoon, the captain, is marshalling. Oh, and it's advantage here to Toulon. Taumoepeau thumps it away. Opportunity gone.
What an opportunity as well. Created some great pressure. There's a knock on there. Scrum underneath the post for Toulon. Toulon put in Able to release some of that pressure. See Johnny Wilkinson, who's gone off injured.
Okay, scrummage red.
The hour mark. Really, the pressure being put on Toulon now. So they respond in a similar way that Connacht did in the first half. Taumoepeau probably goes to 10. He's played a lot of rugby there for the Falcons. And probably have Sonny Bill Williams outside him as well. You see me just wandering across the post there, Sonny Bill Williams. Just about touching the uprights.
Yeah, he's a big
crossbar. Yeah.
He's a big guy, and well, you know, Sonny Bill, he's too cool for school, you know, as Sonny Bill Williams. Played in the second row in rugby league, and back in his home country they call him Money Boy Williams. He was on a 5-year deal at Canterbury, and he disappeared to Toulon, and the story was that he didn't tell anybody. Having committed his life to Canterbury, he then disappeared.
Bit of a free spirit. Yeah. He certainly has created an impact at Toulon.
Crouch! Touch! Pause. Early engagement.
Right, here's a free kick to Connacht for the early engagement. So they're back where they need to be with that chance. Frank Murphy.
John?
What are they going to go for here? We're going to go for the scrummage. Can they do to Toulon in this second half what Toulon did to them at the end of that first half? The interminable almost 10 minutes beyond the 40. At the end of all that, Kefu scored a try.
It'll be irony if they're able to get some points in the back of a scrum now after the pressure they were under in the first half.
Pause. Engage.
Well, this is bare knuckle rugby now, isn't it? And who will be the masters of combat here
Crouch.
as we enter the final quarter?
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Got to get a solid platform first. Here's Frank Murphy. Frank Murphy. Oh, he was nearly through there, Murphy. He wasn't held in the tackle either. O'Connor and Upton standing over the ball.
Henjak just managed to get hold of an ankle there.
Picked up by Johnny O'Connor. Hold your breath, folks, as Naoupu goes. Naoupu driving, helped by McCarthy.
Ball stolen by Red.
Oh, and Toulon, it's stolen by Red. You may have heard Wayne Barnes there. And it's going to be a penalty to the French side. Well, that's a second chance that is now evaporated for Connacht.
Yeah, we complimented Connacht on their defence in the first half, went under pressure. This time, Toulon responded in defence as well. Right on their try line as well. They hurled the red jerseys. And that drive from Connacht and managed to turn over that ball. And how important might that be at the end of the game? You see that crowd, that Connacht crowd, trying to drive and inspire their team forward. Still only 7 points in it. Well, 61% of the game been played in Toulon's half. Not quite the stats we saw from that Toulon performance. Dominance in the first half, but Connacht will be pleased they're spending so much time in the Toulon half. They need to get some more points on the board.
It's been so much better though for Connacht in this second period. They really have been a competitive force.
One stop, please.
But it's the old story at this level. You've got to take your chances, and Connacht have had their chances. He looks a little nervous, does Philippe and Andre, alongside Aubin Hubert, the former French scrum half, his assistant. London Wasps against Cardiff Blues tomorrow, remember, the second Amlin Challenge Cup semi-final. Bruno, good throw this time. Oh, there's a punch thrown there. Timmy Ryan it was, he's just on, the former Munster player. Ryan, who's played and lost here for Munster. And he takes it on. Big man is Tim Ryan. Henjak. Duffy's ball. Well outside the 22, of course.
This Wynne certainly has died down in the second half. That time, that box kick from Henjak was really troubled by the wind.
That's Nikora.
One thing that Toulon will be relieved about is their line-out woes seem to have improved no end. Bruno certainly has helped that when he's come on. Found his man, first two line-outs. And he's had to throw in two. There'll be some relief for Toulon.
Yeah, Sebastian Bruno, who won the Challenge Cup and the Premiership with Sale, played for Sale against Connacht in that 2005 semi-final. Another of Philippe Saint-André's captures from the Sharks, and captured there by Masoop, the replacement back row forward.
He also reduced the size of the liner as well.
Five's gone straight through the middle. Four red behind the ball. Cat, reculé.
Henjak. Sean Cronin trying to charge it down there. In comes Duffy. Difficult ball for Duffy. Oh, brilliantly taken. That was like Carney and Jordan Murphy rolled into one there. Here's Nikora. Now it's Wynne. Sonny Bill Williams makes the tackle. Flank Murphy. Naoupu. Murphy, there was nobody on that side. He had to change and switch back to Muldoon. Got support from his captain in the right place, and they get a penalty. Now, Keatley kicked one from this distance a while back, but then there was a stronger wind that seems to have died, but Connacht could edge inexorably closer here.
Yeah, still should be within his kicking distance, no doubt about that. And if Philippe Saint-André was nervous a couple of minutes ago, he's probably even more nervous now. Get this scoreboard ticking over again, closing the gap. Another 3 points brings it down to a 4-point gap.
Mike McComish preparing to come on, of course, with Keatley off. The kicking duties change to Mia Nikora, but he's a very handy operator too. The strike's good. Well, the distance was there, the accuracy not quite.
Stop, please. Once he stopped.
Well within his range there.
Which number, please?
Need to get the points.
More replacements coming on, and there he is, Pierre Mignoni, who won the Challenge Cup with Clermont. He captained Toulon here in 1999 against Connacht when they lost.
Came on the field last week against Brive and changed the game on its head. It really is a quality scrum half. Mignoni, very sharp.
Nikora, the flank Murphy.
Take him back if necessary.
All the way.
Scrum all the way back. And ball going over the dead ball area. And that'll be frustrating for Connacht. Missed a penalty kick, a goal, and then kick dead. In a good field position now for Mignoni to launch his backs.
Yeah, such experience, hasn't he? 33 years of age now, born in Toulon. 28 caps, won a Grand Slam in 2002.
Crouch!
Spent a good spell at Clermont. He lost 3 top 14 finals with them, but finishing his career in his hometown. Here's Fernandez lobby, here is Mignoni. Lovobalavu, close.
That ball could have ricocheted anywhere. But thank you to Connacht, that ball going off the field. But again, he saw Lobby picking that ball up off the back of a very solid scrum. just then you just put your scrum half in the right areas of the field, really puts defences back on their heels. When an 8 picks the ball up from a scrum going forward.
On my engage. Crouch! Touch! Far side.
Yeah, Conor O'Loughlin has come on for Frank Murphy there, replacement scrum half, wearing 20, another local lad from Ballinasloe.
It's a free kick.
And Nikora.
Free kick, just that.
Now, of course, on for Keatley against Johnny Wilkinson. He's played against big names before. He once faced Dan Carter when he was playing for Wellington.
Guess who? Fernandez, love it.
This is Mignoni to Jovan Nikora, looking for Lovobalavu outside. Takes 2 men to bring him down. First Carr and then Naoupu. Mignoni to Masoup, this very mobile flanker. Mignoni, Taumoepeau. And this is Fernandez Lobe. Sonny Bill Williams trying to use those long levers of his. He loves that one-handed wrap-around offload to Sonny Bill Williams. Mignoni. Chris Chesney is on. Former Saracen.
Still in.
Mignoni. Taumoepeau. Long ball to Jovan Nikora. Van Niekerk to Lovobalavu, but he had a foot in touch on that far side.
They were starting to stretch that Connacht defence as well. They had their runners out there, ready to hit the holes. They were stretching defenders across. They're getting into the stage of the game where there's some tired legs out there.
Just a gap. Couloir, s'il vous plaît. Couloir. Please, got to move you because it's outside the 22. Green.
Yeah, you know he will want to get that ball away from the breakdown. He has got a lightning quick service.
Ball's outside the 22. Outside the 22.
Sean Cronin, that's Bernie Upton. That's what they pay him for. Here's Nikora. Muldoon. O'Loughlin. That's Ronan Loughney. To O'Loughlin, Nikora. It's taken back in though. It's Luke Rooney. Oh, that's good work there by Brian Tuohy to get his arms around the ankles of Rooney. And it's scrappy and scrambly, and Toulon have managed to ruck Connacht out of the way. Importantly, here's Taumoepeau. Still just that converted try between Connacht and extra time.
Connacht swarming around that spilled ball there, keeping the pressure on.
Mignoni to Timmy Ryan. His brother Dave played here for Munster a couple of weeks back in a winning side. Mignoni to Masoup, and Connacht have robbed it. It's great work by the scrum half, the replacement scrum half, Conor O'Loughlin. Oh, and here's Naoupu. Naoupu has Brian Tuohy inside. Defence is there. Brian Tuohy tries to present the ball for O'Loughlin, which he has done. Toulon reorganising in defence. Nikora. Now it's McComish. His father played on the wing for Ulster, so he could be the man to penetrate. He's got his father's pace, but no, they've given away the penalty instead. And again, Connacht getting themselves into positions from where they may score and losing possession or giving away penalties.
Yeah. In the tackle area now, it's not the first man that counts, the tackler that counts, it's the second man in that can steal that ball. And after all that defensive pressure put on Connacht, they still have the energy that time. Naoupu goes on the blind, trips over, has a bit of cramp as well. Such the energy they've expended in the game so far. Over 150 tackles. There's a mammoth defensive display by Connacht.
Well, they could certainly beat a man Naoupu, can't they?
Just don't quite know whether they've got the attacking wherewithal, the nous to take advantage when the opportunities do arise. I think that's going to be the question. That's going to be a test going in this final 7 minutes or so for Connacht. Can they get this crowd behind them again? With 153 tackles, that's a staggering stat.
Well, they've got to have the belief, don't they, Connacht? They scored 3 tries here against Leinster, and Leinster, of course, as we know, are one of the meanest defences in Europe, as organised by Kurt McQuilkin. And Suta was not at the rear and was not the final man, so the penalty has gone to Connacht. So offside against him. Now will Nikora go for touch this time? Looks like he's going to, yes indeed. Needs good distance on this. Just 6.5 minutes to go.
Probably just needed that kick to go 10 yards or so further into the Toulon 22. They can drive a line out. They really need to get this crowd behind them now, trying to inspire their team in the final 5 minutes or so of the game. They do something with this ball.
Upton wins it, and it's Sean Cronin, and it's Cronin driving for the line. That's an old Connacht move. If you know this team in green, you'd have seen that before. Johnny O'Connor takes it on. This is McComish. He wasn't held in the tackle. And look how close they are to the line now. And O'Loughlin, he's got Upton outside. He's got Johnny O'Connor there in support.
Captain, move your legs.
Conor O'Loughlin. Oh, Connacht players sweeping around to the right-hand side, but again, the error is made by Connacht in such an important zone.
Yeah, twice now it's happened, a couple of yards from the line. Lovely move. Took out a couple of defenders as well. Swept around. Well-worked move right off the training paddock, that. Problem is, it didn't amount to any points. That's what Connacht needed to get more points.
Well, no matter what happens, it's been a fantastic performance this by Connacht. Remember, Toulon tied at the top of the top 14 with Perpignan at the end of 26 games. Connacht bottom of the Magners League. This is McComish. O'Loughlin. Here's Nikora. Can they break through for that try? 7 points, just 7 points between them. Just one break. Theon Carr can do it. He's been doing it all season. Will he be the man? Nikora. Maybe Gavin Duffy. He's a line breaker. Who's going to be the special one for Connacht here? We've got to retain possession though. And again, it's an error.
They just need to get some line breaks. They need to get it beyond that first line of defence. It's been a very stubborn defence by Toulon in this second half. Really have. They're not allowed the man to get past that first tackle. That time, 2-3 men in the tackle to drive back. Not allowing Connacht to get beyond that line. See nervous time for supporters now.
Just remember what Connacht are doing here. Toulon beat Perpignan comfortably a fortnight ago, 33-23. They went away to breathe, they beat them there. And they've had 18 league wins this season. They're on a run of 10 consecutive wins, including the Amlin. Their last defeat was against Saracens in Watford in this tournament. They're unbeaten at home in 19 matches. This is a truly classy outfit, an outfit that could yet win, of course, the French top 14 championship.
We asked going into the game whether Connacht produce a performance ferocious in the breakdown, where they force turnovers, committed in defence, and they've done that. But that man has stood tall for Toulon. Juan Martin Fernandez Lomba has been exceptional for this game, imperious in attack and defence.
Chris Chesney drives it on. 2.5 minutes to go, and Toulon get a penalty. And they should be able to release the gas that's been building up in the chamber in the last 15 minutes from this period of intense pressure from Connacht, for which they deserve massive credit.
Certainly, they've shown such character. Over 150 tackles, and that was a good 5 minutes or so. Really has been exceptional. You see some Toulouse Toulon supporters, they're trying to will their team over the line. The Connacht crowd should be immensely proud of the performance the team have put in there. A lot of character, a lot of heart, a lot of commitment.
Line's yours.
Well, just to put it into perspective, you know, for next season, Toulon signed Carl Heyman, Paul Saki. In the past, they've signed George Gregan, Andrew Mertens, Tanu Manga, of course, Jerry Collins. Victor Matfield is supposed to be signing after the World Cup, and he's already spent a spell at Toulon. Suta. And it's Sean Cronin who hacks on. Just going to be the final opportunity. Juan Martin Fernandez Lobby is back there sweeping. Now sweeping forward is Fionn Carr. Good offload, good support by Johnny O'Connor.
Fernandez Lobby has covered every blade of grass on this pitch twice over.
No, counter-rucking, and here's Mignoni, and he's found Suta, and now he's got Taumoepeau, and Taumoepeau may not need support. Bernie Upton brings him down, deep inside the 22. And the ball comes off Massouk, advantage here to Connacht, but we're into the final minute. Is there going to be one more chance for Connacht?
Mignoni certainly has looked for opportunities to come on, been very lively.
Yeah, he's going to watch as well. One stop, please.
Well, look at the faces in the Connacht crowd. And that man would have watched a lot of Connacht rugby through the decades. Has there ever been a night like this?
Yeah, okay.
Some people just can't watch anymore.
Side, he's going to watch outside.
Well, there's a man who's had a big influence tonight going off, Giant.
Yeah, that's my Amlin man of the match. Been exceptional performance. Juan Martin Fernandez Lobby. John Muldoon's been exceptional, as has Gavin Duffy for Connacht. But Juan Martin Fernandez Lobby truly has been world class out there tonight.
Now Connacht need one world class moment from a long way back. Here's Cronin. He's been impressive too, has Cronin. The Loughlin to Nikora. Tayuso. For Loughlin to Loughney. Oh, and he spilled the ball forward as the replacement prop forward. And that might be the final play of the game. And look how much it means to this Toulon side, as now perhaps they head towards what would be a supreme double of Amlin Challenge Cup on top 14. What about their performance tonight, Jan? What about the performance of brave, battling Connacht?
Well, two sides who gave it all, everything they had, that energy, expended so much energy on that field defending both sides. Huge defensive effort from Connacht for the bulk of that game. The damage was probably done at the end of that first half with Toulon opened up that gap. Just too much for Connacht to close. Didn't quite have the ability to take advantage of the opportunities that arose for them in that second half. Toulon also responded similarly with their defensive display in the second half. Really was strong, very physical in their first half tackles. Didn't allow Connacht to make any sort of clean breaks at all. Some stand-up performances from me. But for Connacht, John Muldoon, the captain, really tried to inspire his troops around him. Really was. Strong showing from him. Johnny O'Connor as well. Certainly Gavin Duffy at 15, again exceptional performance. That crowd should be immensely proud of the effort for this Connacht side. Really have given everything they had. Imagine that Toulon probably have a little edge of crowd. You see Michael Bradley walking off, he should be immensely proud as well of his team. But Toulon just probably have a little bit more quality, particularly when you see the likes of Juan Martin Fernandez Lobby in his performance. Van Niekerk as well. Suta was strong. Wilkinson took his points when they came aboard. But Toulon knew they'd been in a fight tonight, really have.
Well, there's no doubt that the arrival of Philippe Saint-Andre has altered the core thinking of this club. In the past, the Amlin Challenge Cup was dismissed, but no more, having won it with Sale. Saint-Andre knows what a springboard victory in this tournament can be. Sale won the Premiership a year after they won this tournament under Philippe Saint-Andre. For Toulon, the final will be at their home from home the Stade Velodrome in Marseille. But Krusty committed wonderful Connacht. They fought hard here at the sports ground in Galway tonight. Great performance by their captain John Muldoon, but they have lost by 19 points to 12.
What commitment from the home side. Perhaps they will wake up tomorrow feeling that they have missed a chance, because they threw absolutely everything at one of the big boys of French rugby, Toulon, and they have come up just short in the end. It is Toulon who go through to the final, as Mark was saying, which will be held in Marseille. The big boys of French rugby at the moment seem destined to spend their way to becoming the big boys of European rugby perhaps as well. But real disappointment for the Connacht team and their fans as well. They have given a great account of themselves in this year's competition, as they have done in previous competitions as well. It is farewell to Michael Bradley, the coach, who has done so much there. After the break, we'll get the thoughts of Dowie and Tyrone on what's been a great night of Amlin Challenge Cup rugby, but ultimately the home side have just come up short. We'll talk about that and get reaction for you from the sports ground in a minute's time.